It was a bright and sunny day in Lakewood, Colorado. Birds were singing. Cars were passing by slowly. People were out enjoying the sunshine. Melanie Massay, a 22-year-old woman, was also outside. She was not alone. She had a baby growing inside her. She was pregnant. She was happy. But then something terrible happened. Melanie was walking with a man. They were not in danger. They were not fighting with anyone. But suddenly, gunshots. People screamed. Melanie fell to the ground. She had been shot. The man with her was also hit, but survived. Melanie did not. And her baby? The baby inside her never had a chance to live.
Lakewood police are just now talking publicly about a pregnant woman who was ambushed and killed a year ago.
9 News reporter Brianna Clark is live in Lakewood tonight. Brianna, police are just now saying they're making progress as well.
This happened in the middle of the day, not at night, not in secret, but in public, in the open, in a quiet place. The police came. People were crying. The street became a crime scene. And the biggest question was, why? Who would shoot a pregnant woman? Who would plan such a thing? And why did they do it? As police started asking questions, they found out it was not just one person, not two, not even three. 7 people were involved. Some of them were still teenagers. One of them ran away and was found years later. Melanie's family was broken. Her life was gone. Her baby's life was gone. Her mother, her sister, her friends, they all cried. But they also wanted answers. They wanted justice. This story is about a real person, a young woman with a baby inside her, a woman who did not know she was walking into danger, a woman who never got to hold her child. So let's go back to the start. Let's find out who Melanie was. Let's look at what happened that day. Let's meet the 7 people now in jail. Let's ask, was it planned? Was it a mistake? Or was it something more? And finally, what can we learn from this? Stay with us as we unravel this shocking story and uncover the heartbreaking details of what led to this senseless loss. If you enjoy real crime stories that uncover the truth, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us share real cases, spread awareness, and give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts as the story unfolds? Welcome to True Crime Tales, where we reveal the crimes that shock communities and the secrets hidden behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin. Melanie Massay was a young woman. She was 22 years old. She lived in a place called Lakewood in the state of Colorado in the United States. Melanie was not just a woman. She was also a mother-to-be. That means she was pregnant. She had a baby growing in her tummy. She was going to have a child soon. But sadly, that did not happen. Her life was cut short. Melanie did not live a rich or famous life. She was a regular person. She did not do bad things. She did not steal. She did not hurt people. She was not in a gang. She did not have any problems with the police. She was not a criminal. She was just a normal, quiet, and kind woman. People who knew her, like her family and friends, said good things about her. They said she was kind. That means she was nice to others. They said she was full of life. That means she was happy, loved to laugh, and liked to enjoy each day. Melanie was also a hard worker. She worked to support herself. That means she made her own money. She did not sit at home doing nothing. She worked so she could eat, live, and take care of herself and her baby. She had plans for her baby. She wanted to be a good mother. She dreamed about what her baby would look like. Would it be a boy or a girl? Would the baby have her smile? These were happy thoughts she had before she died. Melanie had goals. She wanted to live a good life. She wanted her child to grow up in peace. She wanted to make her family proud. She wanted to be strong and safe. Even though she was pregnant, she did not stop working. That shows she was brave. It also shows she cared about the baby and about her future. She was not lazy. She did not expect others to do things for her. Melanie was not a person who caused trouble. She did not fight with people. She did not lie or cheat. She was peaceful. She wanted to live a calm life. She had friends. She had people who loved her. She had people who looked up to her. They say she smiled a lot. She made others feel welcome and happy. She was the kind of person you would want to be around. Melanie did not have a lot of money, but she had hope. She had dreams. She was waiting for her baby. She may have already picked out a name. Maybe she had baby clothes. Maybe she talked to her baby in her tummy. But all those dreams ended too soon. She was shot and killed in broad daylight. That means it happened when the sun was shining and people were outside. It was not in the dark. It was not in secret. What kind of person would hurt someone like Melanie? Someone who was kind? Someone who was pregnant? Someone who had done nothing wrong? Now Melanie is gone, but people still remember her. Her family remembers her voice. Her friends remember her laugh. Her baby never got to be born. What would you do if someone hurt a kind and quiet person like Melanie? Would you speak up? Would you want justice? Would you ask, why? On February 28th, 2023, a sunny day in Lakewood, Colorado, turned into a tragic moment. It was a regular afternoon, and everyone was going about their day. People were walking, driving, and enjoying the beautiful weather. But in the 1300 block of Zephyr Street, something terrible was about to happen. Melanie Massay, a 22-year-old woman who was pregnant, was walking down the street. She was with a man who was also walking beside her. Everything seemed peaceful, but in the blink of an eye it all changed. Suddenly, shots rang out. The loud noise echoed through the neighborhood, and the peaceful day turned into chaos. Melanie was hit by the gunfire. She fell to the ground. The man who was walking with her was also shot, but he managed to survive. He was hurt, but he did not die like Melanie did. The gunshots shocked everyone around. People who were outside quickly ran for cover, scared and confused about what had just happened. Neighbors heard the loud bangs and saw people running. Some ran to help the injured man, while others were too scared to move. The whole area was filled with panic. People were calling 911. The street, usually so calm, was now filled with sirens and police cars. The police arrived quickly. They were the first ones to make sure the area was safe. They stopped anyone from going near the crime scene to make sure they didn't disturb any evidence. It was clear that something terrible had happened. The neighborhood was in shock. People kept asking the same questions. Who did this? Why did it happen? If this happened in your street, how would you feel? Once the police were called, they had to make sure the area was safe. They put up yellow tape around the area where the shooting happened. This tape is used to show that the place is a crime scene, and no one should go in without permission. The police made sure that everyone stayed away from the spot where Melanie was shot, so they could collect all the evidence. One of the first things the police did was interview people who had seen what happened. These people were called witnesses. They wanted to know if anyone had seen the shooter, heard anything, or noticed anything strange before the shooting. The witnesses helped the police understand what happened. The police also looked for important pieces of evidence. They collected bullet shells from the ground. These shells came from the bullets that were fired during the shooting. They would later use this evidence to help them figure out which type of gun was used. Every little piece of evidence is very important when solving a crime. Next, the police checked cameras in the area. Many streets have cameras that record everything that happens. These cameras are helpful because they can show exactly what happened and who was involved. If there were cameras on nearby houses or stores, the police could use the videos to look for clues. Sometimes, these cameras can even show the face of the person who did the crime. The police also talked to the man who was with Melanie when the shooting happened. He was injured but did not die. His story was important. He could tell them what had happened before the shots were fired. He could help them figure out who had done this. After they spoke with the man, the police started looking for the shooter. They did not know who it was yet, but they had to act quickly. Every moment counted in solving a crime like this. They started by tracking down people who might have seen the shooter or heard anything unusual. They also checked nearby stores, homes, or streets for any surveillance cameras. These cameras could help them see if the shooter was caught on video. The police worked hard to find clues and track down anyone who could help solve the crime. They needed to know everything, what happened, who was involved, and why it had happened. You think police should always use cameras to find bad people? As the investigation continued, the police used all the information they had gathered to find the people who were responsible for the crime. They went door to door, spoke with more witnesses, and reviewed all the available evidence. After many days of work, the police found out who was responsible for Melanie's tragic death. They made arrests and took the suspects into custody. The community was relieved, but the pain of losing Melanie was still felt deeply by her family and friends. Through the hard work of the police and the help of the witnesses, the truth came out. The community wanted justice for Melanie, and they got it. The case became a reminder of how important it is to keep our streets safe and how everyone can help solve a crime by paying attention and speaking up. Do you think the police did a good job of solving the crime? Why or why not? How can we keep our neighborhoods safe from things like this? In the tragic case of Melanie Massay, 7 people were arrested for their involvement in the crime. Some of them were teenagers, and others were adults. They are all accused of being part of the attack that led to Melanie's death. Let's take a closer look at each of these suspects and what they did. 1. Monty Hayes. Monty Hayes is one of the people arrested in connection with the crime. He is an adult and is facing very serious charges. Monty is accused of helping to plan the shooting and possibly even being there when it happened. He is charged with first-degree murder because of his involvement in the death of Melanie, and he is also charged with attempted murder because another person was injured during the attack. 2. Raja Hollins. Raja Hollins is another suspect. She is a woman who is also accused of being involved in the crime. Like Monty, she is charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder. Some reports suggest that Raja may have played a role in helping to plan the attack. It is still unclear exactly how much she knew or how much she helped, but she is one of the people arrested for shooting. 3. Trinity Walker. Trinity Walker is another suspect who was arrested for her role in the shooting. She is one of the younger suspects and is believed to be a teenager. Trinity's exact involvement in the crime isn't fully clear, but she has been charged with serious crimes. It is possible that she was there during the shooting or helped in some way to carry out the plan. She is facing charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder as well. 4. Dejana Abrams. Dejana Abrams is another teenager who was arrested in connection to the case. She is accused of being part of the group that planned and carried out the attack. Like the other suspects, Dejana faces charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder. Her role in the crime is still under investigation, but she is believed to have been involved in some way. 5. Drayla Taylor. Drayla Taylor is also a suspect in the case. Like the others, Drayla is accused of being involved in the shooting. She faces charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder. Drayla's involvement may have been as part of the group who helped plan the attack. While some details of her actions are still unclear, she is one of the people arrested and charged with crime. 6. Jalea Burks. Jalea Burks is another suspect who was arrested for her role in the shooting. Jalea's exact actions during the crime are still being looked into. She is believed to have helped with the planning or to have been present at the time of the shooting. Like the others, she is facing charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder. 7. Isaac Amir-Pierre. Isaac Amir-Pierre is the last suspect in the case. He was not caught right away, but after 2 years of searching, the police finally arrested him in Aurora. Isaac is accused of being part of the group that carried out the shooting. He faces the same charges as the others, first-degree murder and attempted murder. Even though he wasn't caught immediately, he is now in custody, and the police believe he was an important part of the crime. All 7 suspects are facing very serious charges. The charges include first-degree murder. This means that the person is accused of planning and carrying out the killing of Melanie Massay. Attempted murder. This charge is for the person who helped or was involved in a shooting that injured another person but did not result in their death. The police believe that some of these suspects helped plan the crime, while others may have been there during the shooting itself. Even though some of the suspects are teenagers, the charges are very serious because someone lost their life. One important question many people are asking is whether teenagers should go to jail if they help plan a murder. In this case, some of the suspects are teens. They are accused of helping plan the attack, which is a very serious crime. The law treats everyone the same, no matter their age. when it comes to crimes like murder. However, some people believe that teenagers should be treated differently because they're still young and might not fully understand the consequences of their actions. What do you think? Should teenagers who help plan a crime like this go to jail, or should they be given a second chance to change their lives? The 7 suspects arrested in this case, Monty Hayes, Raja Hollins, Trinity Walker, Dejana Abrams, Drayla Taylor, Jalea Burks, and Isaac Amir Pieri, are all accused of being involved in the death of Melanie Massay. They are facing serious charges, including first-degree murder and attempted murder. Some of them may have helped plan the crime, and others may have been there when it happened. The case is still ongoing, and the police continue to investigate the full details of what happened that day. But one thing is clear. The people involved in Melanie's death will face justice for their actions. Should teenagers go to jail if they help plan a murder? What do you think about this case? At first, people wondered, was this just a random act of violence? Some might have thought the shooter just picked someone at random, but the police didn't believe it was random at all. They said it looked like an ambush. An ambush happens when someone plans to hurt someone else by surprising them. The police believe that whoever shot Melanie didn't just randomly choose her. They think the shooter had a reason for doing it, and it wasn't just an accident. But here's the thing. It's not completely clear if Melanie was the main target. The police think she might have been caught in the middle of something bigger. Maybe the shooter was trying to hurt someone else, and Melanie was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. The shooter didn't expect her to be there, and that's why she ended up getting hurt. It's also possible that the shooter wanted to hurt Melanie for some reason, but the police are still trying to figure that out. They have not been able to confirm if Melanie was the real target or if she was just a victim of chance. But the one thing the police know for sure is that it wasn't an accident. Someone wanted to hurt someone, and Melanie was caught in the middle. Why do people plan to hurt others? Melanie was not just a 22-year-old woman. She was also pregnant. She had a baby growing inside her, and she was excited to become a mother. But that day, when the gunshots rang out, Melanie's life was taken, and so was the life of her unborn child. The baby did not survive the attack. When Melanie was shot, the baby died too. It wasn't just one life lost, it was 2. This is what we call a double tragedy. Melanie's family lost their daughter, and they also lost a grandchild they were excited to meet. It was an incredibly sad and painful situation for everyone who loved Melanie. Doctors and police said that the baby could not have survived after Melanie was shot. The gunshot wounds were too serious, and it was impossible for the baby to live. This is why Melanie's family was not just grieving for her, but also mourning the loss of a future. The future that Melanie had been excited about, with a baby of her own. But there is something important to think about here. When someone kills a pregnant woman, are they just taking one life? Or should the law count it as killing 2 people, the mother and the baby? In many places, the law does consider the baby's life as part of the crime. This is why some people believe that when someone kills a pregnant woman, they should face a harsher punishment because they are taking 2 lives, not just one. The investigation into the tragic death of Melanie Massay took more than 2 years to unfold. After the shooting in February 2023, police worked tirelessly to gather evidence, talk to witnesses, and track down the suspects. The case was complicated, and it took a long time to figure out what happened and who was responsible. There were 7 people involved in the crime, and all of them were charged with serious crimes. Each of the suspects faced charges like first-degree murder and attempted murder. This means the police believe these people planned to kill Melanie and hurt others on purpose. Some of the suspects were teenagers at the time, and others were older. No matter their age, they all faced very serious consequences for their actions. The suspects were arrested one by one. Some were caught quickly, but the last one, Isaac Amir Pieri, didn't get caught until March 2025. He had been running from the police for over 2 years. Finally, he was caught in another city called Aurora. Even though he was caught later than the others, he is facing the same charges as the rest of the group. The court process has been slow. People are still talking about what happened, and the legal system is still working to figure out the right punishment for the suspects. Some of the suspects are facing life in prison. This means they could spend the rest of their lives in jail because of what they did. If they are found guilty, they will likely never be able to live freely again. Even though the police have arrested all the suspects and some trials have started, there's still a lot to figure out. Some of the trials may still be going on. The court must decide if the suspects are guilty or innocent and what punishment they should get. This can take a long time because each trial is different and requires a lot of evidence. The legal process is important because it helps decide who is responsible for the crime and what should happen to them. It also helps make sure that everyone is treated fairly under the law. Some people believe that those who help plan or carry out the crime should be punished the same way. Others might feel differently, but the law will decide what is fair based on evidence. Do you think everyone who helped should go to jail? Melanie's family has been heartbroken since the day she was killed. They have lost someone they love very much, and they want justice. They believe that no one should have to go through what they're going through. They believe that Melanie did not deserve to die, and they want the world to remember her. Her family has said that Melanie was a kind and loving person. She cared about others and worked hard every day. She was excited to be a mother and had dreams for her future. Her family describes her as someone who was always there for others, someone who made the world a better place with her smile. They remember her with love and sadness, and they want everyone to know how important she was. Even though they are sad, Melanie's family is speaking out because they want justice. They want to make sure that the people who hurt her are held responsible for what they did. They want to make sure the public never forgets what happened to Melanie. To them, it is not just about the crime. It's about keeping her memory alive and showing the world who she really was. Her family also wants to make sure this tragedy doesn't happen to anyone else. They hope that by sharing Melanie's story, people will understand the importance of being kind to others and making good choices. They hope it will help other families avoid similar pain. The family has said that they will continue to speak out for Melanie, even as the court case moves forward. They believe that she deserves justice, and they will keep fighting for it. They want the world to remember her life, not just her death. If you were Melanie's family, what would you want people to know about her? The shooting of Melanie Massay shook the entire city of Lakewood, Colorado. People in the community were left speechless and afraid. This was not a crime that anyone expected. It happened during the day, when most people were going about their normal lives. Everyone who lived in the area knew how peaceful their neighborhood usually was. When the news spread about Melanie's death, many people asked, how could this happen? Lakewood is known as a safe place where families live and children play. But now, the same streets that people walked on every day felt different. They felt unsafe. People began to wonder if any place was safe anymore. Some neighbors said that it was hard to believe this could happen in their quiet neighborhood. People had to look over their shoulders when walking outside. Everyone was talking about how they didn't feel as comfortable anymore, and they worried about their kids. This event made people start to think about how crime could happen so suddenly. If something like this could happen in a peaceful area, where could it happen next? That fear spread across the community. Everyone was looking for answers. There were also many calls for more safety in the neighborhood. People wanted more security, like more police officers patrolling the streets. They wanted to see more streetlights and cameras to help prevent crimes from happening. They thought that if the neighborhood had more protection, maybe something like this could have been stopped before it even happened. They hoped that more police presence would help prevent more violence. Parents started to feel nervous about sending their children to school or letting them play outside. They didn't want their kids to be in danger. Schools also worried about the safety of their students. They knew they had to take extra steps to make sure their students were safe. They started thinking about having more security at schools and teaching kids how to stay safe in their neighborhoods. Schools and parents started talking more about youth violence, worrying about whether younger people might get involved in crime or dangerous behavior. The fear and shock in Lakewood made everyone think about how they could do more to protect their community. Some wondered if they could create more programs for young people to help keep them out of trouble. Others asked what could be done to stop crime from starting in the first place. This incident made people realize that everyone needed to work together to make their community safer. How can we keep our streets safe for everyone? Melanie's tragic story teaches us a lot of important lessons about life, choices, and how we should treat others. First, it's important to think before making bad choices. Every choice we make has an impact. If we make good choices, we can help others and make our community better. But if we make bad choices, we can hurt people and cause problems. The people involved in Melanie's death made choices that hurt others and changed their lives forever. These bad choices led to big consequences, and they will have to live with the results. Another lesson we can learn is don't follow people who lead you into crime. Sometimes, people might try to convince us to do things that are wrong. They may make it sound exciting or fun, but these actions can lead to serious trouble. If we follow the wrong people, we can end up making mistakes that hurt ourselves and others. The people who were involved in the shooting followed bad leaders, and now they are facing serious charges and consequences. Even small actions in crime can lead to big punishment. You might think that something small, like just being a part of a plan or not stopping a bad action, isn't a big deal. But even those small actions can lead to huge punishments. The people who helped plan or took part in the shooting will face serious legal consequences. This shows us that every action, even if it seems small, can make a big difference. Another important lesson is to always protect life. Life is precious, and we should never hurt anyone. We need to be kind to others and think about how our actions affect them. No matter how angry or upset we might feel, we should never use violence or hurt others. Protecting life means making choices that keep everyone safe and happy. Finally, everyone deserves to feel safe. Whether you live in a big city or a small town, everyone should be able to go outside and feel safe. No one should have to live in fear or worry about getting hurt. When people commit crimes, it takes away the safety that everyone deserves. That's why it's important to work together to keep our streets, neighborhoods, and homes safe for everyone. What lesson did you learn from Melanie's story? The death of Melanie and her baby is one of the saddest stories, but it's also a story that teaches us a lot. Was Melanie the target of a planned attack, or was she just in the wrong place at the wrong time? The police are still figuring that out. What we do know is that this was not a random act, and someone had a reason for what they did. But the reason may never fully be clear. Melanie's baby died along with her, making it even more heartbreaking. People argue that killing a pregnant woman is like killing two people, and that's something the courts will have to decide. Should it be treated as two murders? That is a question many people are asking. Should killing a pregnant woman count as killing two people? This story is still unfolding. As the investigation continues, the questions remain. Who planned this? Why did they do it? And what happens next for Melanie's family as they seek justice? If you have thoughts on what happened to Melanie and her baby, or what should happen next in the case, let us know in the comments below. Your opinion matters. If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.